More and more as I work with people across the world, I'm finding that so many of you are telling me that you feel like you're losing yourself. You feel like a part of who you are is being eroded away by what you do. Well, stick with me because this week I want to start a conversation around being able to reclaim your true identity, to get rid of the performance trap and operate from a position of self-approval. Hi, this is Grant Herbert, VUCA Leadership and Sustainable Performance Coach, and today I want to talk to you about building your own identity. Your identity is not what you do. And one of the challenges I see all the time is when people have I am statements that tells them or tells the people around them what they do. You see, you're a human being, not a human doing. And who you are is not tied up in your profession, in the role or different roles that you play in your life. Your identity is the foundation for everything else in your life. It's who you believe you are and who you think you're not. It's what dictates your thought life and the decision-making processes that you go through when you decide whether or not you'll do things. It's that package of all the experiences and things that have been said to you and about you and the meanings that you've placed on that over the years. And it's there under the water, the part of the iceberg that you can't see, and therefore the part of that can bring you undone, just like it did with the Titanic. It's not the things that we see above the water that are challenging. They're there, we can deal with those. But there's deep underlying foundation in your subconscious, in this identity that you have of yourself that we need to work on. Every single one of us. I talk to me every time I talk to you about this stuff. And I'm passionate about helping people to become who they need to be in every area of their life. And this is the foundation of all of that. So let's have a look this week at how you can shift from feeling like a fraud, feeling like an imposter, being in conflict with your values, and shift it to being more congruent, to be real, to be authentic, to be okay with presenting to the world who you really are. I've said this many times before as a recovering people pleaser, that being who you truly are, it's the easiest and most effortless gig on the planet. It doesn't suck the energy that pretending and putting on a mask does. So let me now give you 3 places to consider working on so that you can build your identity. Your identity is not something that needs to be outsourced to anybody else. It's your responsibility. It's my responsibility, in my case, to decide who it is that I think I am. Now, doing this is done in a way that is confident, not arrogant. It says, I'm humble, I'm teachable, I know that I have areas that I'm still working on. I'm still becoming who I need to become. But I'm okay with the fact that I'm not all there, that I'm not complete and perfect, because that's never the goal. To rebuild your identity, you need to unlearn some things that you've learned over the years about yourself, that you've taken on as a meaning, whether it was something that was said or done to you by someone else or something that you've made up yourself. Reversing that unhealthy conditioning that over the years you've developed. And it can happen through neuroplasticity. We know by what we understand about the brain is that you can rebuild those neural pathways, those thought patterns, your belief structure, the values that you hold true to you can be realigned with what you think and what you say and what you do. To do that, there's 3 areas that we work on. The first area is to understand and escape from the performance trap. The performance trap is where you get up every day and you perform for the approval of others. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And when you perform to get the approval of others and you get it, you feel good. Those dopamine and other pleasure circuits in your brain fire up and it feels great. However, when you don't get it, you feel less than, you feel bad about yourself. And it's further evidence of what you were already thinking about yourself anyway. So it erodes away your true identity. Every single day that you are not being who you truly are, you're chipping away at that just to get the approval from other people who, by the way, don't care about you as much as you might think they do. We're all wired to be selfish. To survive, we need to be self-centered, and looking for approval from elsewhere is the worst thing that you can delegate. That's your responsibility. So what we do is, instead of performing to get approval, we work on our identity to get to a position of self-approval where you can look in the mirror and you can go, metaphorically, not just physically, I'm okay with who I am. The second thing to do is to rewrite those limiting and false beliefs that you've formed about yourself. Having a look at what you truly think of yourself. I know, for many years I appeared so confident. People would look at me and go, wow, this guy can do anything. He's confident. He's just, to the point a lot of times of being arrogant, he's just able to take on anything, talk to anyone, whether it's in the boardroom or on the shop floor. This guy's got it all together. And I certainly didn't. Deep down inside, there was an inner child that was screaming out, and I was coming across that way as a smokescreen so that people would like me and I wouldn't be rejected even more. So to look at the foundation of that behavior, I had to look at what I believed. I had to look at what I'd formed over the years as being true about me based on experience and what I'd been told. So just like me, you've got those beliefs. And there is plenty of evidence for those beliefs that pop up all the time. Now what we need to do is refute that evidence and go, objection, facts aren't in evidence. Here's the real story. And now bring out the evidence of why you can and why you are, rather than why you're not and why you can't. To do that, we need to go to the third area, and that is to reprogram that inner dialogue, what I like to call the mini-me, that small voice that you have created inside you, so that when you go to do things outside your comfort zone, outside the belief of who you believe you are, it can scream at you and go, what are you doing? Stop that. We don't do that. We're not good enough. We're not like them. And all that comparison and everything else comes in. So by reprogramming that dialogue, we now can be empowered to be who we need to be. I like to look at that like a 2-year-old child, that if you're not giving it attention, it's going to get your attention in the best way that it can. So the first thing we need to do is acknowledge the fact that you taught your internal dialogue to speak that way, to remind you of those things. So to be able to say, hey, it's okay. I know I taught you that, but I'm going to teach you some new things now. Let's unlearn that and watch what we do. By doing that and repeating those new thoughts, those new behaviors, you create a new neural pathway. And what we want to do is get to a point where this new one is stronger than the old one so that it doesn't pop up anymore. So there's 3 things that you can do to rebuild your identity. The idea of who you believe you are and who you believe you're not. Well, that's it from me for this week. Join me again next week as I pull each of those apart over the coming weeks and go deeper in the science behind it, how to do it, and you and I together will be able to rebuild a strong identity out of which we will be able to be who we need to be to step into our full potential and bring our personal best. I'll see you then.